I would like to congratulate Ned Yost on his retirement, and I've had an opportunity to text with him. I know there are a lot of great hunting and fishing days ahead for him, so hope he enjoys every bit of it. Our fans were unbelievable yesterday. We appreciate that. We know we've got the best fans in the National Football League. So had a chance to look at the tape. There's some great things we can learn from it. First of all, the opportunity of playing a good football team, and when you're talking about the number one offense in the National Football League, and the number two defense in the National Football League, you don't always have an opportunity to play against that, and so it was a nice test for us there, and then you could take things from that and try to make your game better than it is right now, really in all three phases, and so we'll do that. It was good to see some of the young guys come in and play, guys that were asked to step up and fill in some shoes there, and it's a tribute, like I've mentioned before, to Brett Veach and his crew for the good job that they do, and the coaches for working their tail off to make sure the players learn and are presented it properly, the game plan, and and then obviously to the guys that have an opportunity to play. So I can go through and talk about the different players, but it was great to see our defense. We're so close on these turnovers, man. I mean, we are right there, and I think the more we play in the defense, the more those things will happen. But they were attacking the football, and I appreciate seeing that, and that becomes important. Turnovers are a big thing in this league, and those things are going to start clicking if you keep that mindset of attacking. And then, offensively, that same mindset has to be there too, so that you're always attacking. And it was good to see D-Rob come on. He's one guy that has just worked his tail off to be in the position that he's in right now, and and taking advantage of it. I like what I've seen, and our young running back Darrell Williams step up, and Thompson step up too. He had an opportunity to get in there and have some nice carries. So, and then. It's always a great example when guys fight through things that you don't anticipate that they might be able to do, and you saw that with LaShawn with his ankle. I mean, that's a veteran player working through something. Not that it's going to hinder him the rest of his career, any of that, but something that you have to have a certain mindset on when you come into it, and he did that. And he just said, I'm going to get myself right. I'm going to get in the training room and work with Rick and the trainers, and I'm going to get this thing right. And that's that's a great example to the guys. It's similar to what Patrick has done with his ankle there. So to have that for other guys to see that now, I'm cautious as I say that because of the fact that we don't put guys out there that are going to hurt themselves, and that's what I had explained to really both of those two. If we didn't feel like they could play at a high level, then you're not going to be in there. And then with that, we've got a great opponent here coming up in Detroit. They're playing good football, man. I've had a chance. I kind of moved on from this game yesterday and had a chance to look at the tape, and Patricia's got them fired up and going, man. They're playing real good football, and they're undefeated right now. And that's I've played it up there a couple times, and it's those fans get going up there too. So we got to make sure we have a good week of practice as we get started. It's good to have Herbie back in the building here. So all right.
Coach, we didn't get a chance to ask yesterday about the onside kick at the end, the drop kick thing that they tried. Is that? I'm assuming you hadn't seen that particular onside kick for it, and when it looked like he bounced over the line where the tee would have been.
Yeah.
Is it?
No, we asked the officials on the field, and they said that was legal. But how far can you go with that? I'm not sure I'm not sure they've seen that other than Australian rules football. So it's something we've got to look into, and that was my initial reaction. That, and you can't hit a guy fair catching a ball, so you don't want to do that.
It built up that kind of a heads-up play though from McColl to fair catch that ball. What do you think of?
Yeah. Well, Dave hits him on that any of those crazy things like that punts or whatever, you have the opportunity to fair catch it there. So.
Andy, obviously you like Darrell Williams because you've had him around for a little while, but anything surprise you about his game yesterday?
Yeah, so Darrell's really had a good offseason as far as getting himself in the shape that he thinks he needs to be in to play at this level. And I think yesterday was a nice cookie for him, that you give him for saying that he gives himself for saying that. Listen, I busted my tail. I dropped my weight down, increased my my body mass, muscle wise, and this is the result. So he'll continue to, that helps you keep pushing through all that. He's naturally a big guy, but I thought he played physical. He did well in the pass game. Some of his blitz pickups, top notch. So did a nice job.
You mentioned last week that you'd really challenged the offensive and defensive lines. What was your message during the week, and what did you see yesterday that excited you?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be pretty. It's not always pretty, but you got to fight in there, and so I thought they did that. They battled, and not all the snaps were great snaps. I'm not telling you that, but there was no letdown. There wasn't any point where we conceded to their fronts, and in games like that, when you get two big boys playing each other, it comes down to the big boys. So you gotta really stay. You have to have the right mindset going in. So we have things we can clean up and learn from, but that heart in the battle, that becomes very important.
The run defense struggled just a little bit yesterday. Saw the Ravens had a couple drives, especially the first one, the second half. They all went to the ground for a touchdown. What did you see out of the film that you kind of trying to correct going forward?
Yeah, so they were working off in formation where they could do that. We were inside conscious on a couple of those, and they hit it back outside. So, and then a couple of those we can do a better job tackling. We're in position. You got to wrap up and tackle. So, got to do better there.
You were talking about the almost turnovers. Did you have in mind those prayer plays that Baltimore? Well,
those, but then you saw Tyron in position to make a couple interceptions, and so those things happen though. The more familiar you become with the defense, then you're not off by just that tick, and then you're even in better position, and then you just have to play. You have to keep going with it, and those things come up, but you got to keep attacking, or it doesn't happen. So so I take that as a real positive coming out of the game.
Taking the 3 games as a whole, Andy, how do you feel about where your defense is right now?
Yeah, I think we're heading the right direction. Again, we've got to keep working, and I think the more we do it, the better we're going to get at. That was the number 1 offense in the NFL. So and they have a lot of different variables that go on with that offense, and to cover all those, I thought we did a good job there. Go ahead, in the back here. Yep.
Sorry to change the subject, but as a follow-up to what you were saying about Yost, can you describe the relationship that you developed with him since you've been at Kansas City?
Yeah, well, it's unique in that we're so close here. So I've always invited his guys down to come visit. We've had their players here this past season here, and or this, a couple weeks ago. So, and then he's always invited us up to games and so on. So, and I've had just a chance to talk to him. We have some common friends that he grew up with that I know. Jack Del Rio being one of them that played in the league. So, he and I text each other back and forth game days and wish each other the best of luck. We've had some nice talks and visits. So, he's a good man. Yeah.
Coach, have you noticed through 3 weeks, and yesterday in particular, that Frank has been getting extra attention, whether it's shifts with tight ends or with running backs, or just how much attention is he getting?
He got a lot of attention yesterday. Yeah, they doubled him yesterday. So, and that's what I look at. Both he and Chris Jones. They were trying to work to those guys, and are you going to keep battling, or are you going to concede to that? Somewhere you're going to have a single. What are you going to do with it? And then you saw what he did. So. And Chris had one called back that there was a penalty on, but you saw them battle. They didn't just stop, and sometimes guys get defeated on that, frustrated, more frustration. They get frustrated, and then they just And I didn't see that, you know.
The Agba acquisition looks obviously really good right now early. Just what do you think's allowed for such success in his back system?
Listen, it's a time-tested system. The guys want to be good, and if you start there, normally defense has a little bit more. There's a reaction element to it that you got to have, and these guys they're all in, and they're playing fast. They practice fast. They want to be the best. I mean, that's what they strive for, and you feel that. You guys are out of practice, so you know that. You see them hustling. They're studying extra. Hitch kind of, it's around. They lead that charge on that. So, that's important. And we're right at the beginning of this thing. So, that increase every week becomes important.
Coach, what can you tell us about Eric's visit to Philadelphia for his follow-up, and also how Cam played in his place yesterday?
Eric's visit.
He was going to Philadelphia for the...
Oh, Fish. Yeah. So Fish had surgery for a sports hernia, and then we'll just see how long that takes. So it went well. I
How
mean,
do you feel like Cam did yesterday?
I thought Cam did a nice job. He had a couple that he'd like to have back, but he did a decent job there. Yeah.
We talked last week a little bit about two-point conversions and kind of how the league is going with that. And Jim had a few yesterday. He's aggressive. Has your two-point conversion chart changed at all over the years? Are people getting a little deeper in the math on it now and thinking about a little more possessions than just like where you are?
Yeah. So, listen, there's the analytics part of it, and I know John mentioned that after the game. So we look at all that. Everybody has their own thought process on it, and I'm not going to tell you there's not times where we'll go for two. I mean, that's not where we're at. That's where we weren't at. Where we weren't in that position this past game, but maybe there are times when we choose to do that. But
Couple more guys. But you had the fourth down stop, and it being a key point. You guys went down and got the score, and then they had the holding penalty on the next drive that kind of stalled it. Then you went 3 plays with the Nicole touchdown. I got that score. When you called that play, did you get the look on Nicole when he kind of ran open? Was that kind of what you were expecting to happen on that play?
Well, not quite like that, but that was a good look. We were hoping for that coverage, and we got the coverage now. They had a little confusion in there, I think. We didn't expect to be quite like that.
The answer might be nothing new here, but just how is Tyreek been coming along since the injury just 2 weeks ago? Are you optimistic that potentially in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, no, he's doing good. He's hard to hold down. I mean, he's wired different than everybody. I'm gonna tell you, everybody in this building, everybody in this room right here, he's different than all. He's bouncing around and wants to go, but this one here, you gotta, the doctors really got to keep checking on him. So we'll see how the time frame goes.
We'll go Nate and then Adam.
Andy, one of the things that hasn't really been played out over the first few weeks is Tyler's sort of scramble, looseness off script plays. I know part of that needs to be ankle, but how much of these first 3 games are you impressed with just the offense's ability to run a play smoothly, more so this year than it appears at the same time where we are last year?
Yeah, so that's a dangerous question. I just
sorry.
Yeah, so they've done. There've been some good things. He had a nice scramble though on the third play or so, and it's still important that he maintains his mobility in there. But I'm proud of the guys. On the other hand, I'm proud of the job that they do. The coaches. I mentioned the Joe Blameyers, Greg Lewis, who was a heck of a smart player for me. Corey Matei. I mean, these are the young guys that you never hear about that do a nice job. Mike Kafka, and all the work that they put into this. It's good to, and the ideas they come up with, and it's neat to see it work. But on the other hand, you got to do it every week. So, whatever you did yesterday doesn't matter now. We got to retool and get ourselves ready to go up to Detroit and play against a good football team.
I was just going to ask you, Andy, whether there was any reasonable chance that Tyreek and also Damian Williams could practice this week, from what you know?
I don't know right now. Yeah, I don't know that. They have not been seen today, so.
Nothing, Herbie. Welcome back, bro.
Hey, Brad told me to be relaxing and take it in for right now.
You look very relaxed right there.
Good to see you, Coach.